Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and one of my favorite things is sharing ideas for stamp sets that don't necessarily use the stamps exactly the way you'd anticipate just from looking at the set. So the pleat, Drapery Pleat fold card that we're going to make for Stamps in the Mail Club here actually uses the frame as just a frame instead of the whole artist's easel thing that's included in the Painter's Palette stamp set. So let me give you some tips for making drapery fold cards, which are super trendy right now, and also some ideas for using that frame in some different ways. So let's get stamping. So for this project, we're going to need the packet from Stamps in the Mail Club kit that has the vellum circle and this longer piece of the Designer Series paper stack. So this is the Dapper Denim from the new In Color Designer Series paper stack. And if you're watching from home, this paper is cut to 3 inches by 8 inches. And the directions for this are going to be included in your Stamps in the Mail Club kit, but I will go through them here for you. And what you want to do is go ahead and work on your drapery fold. So let me fold this so we have a place to put our drapery fold. All right, and then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put an angle on here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Stampin' Scoreboard, or simply scoreboard. If you don't have this, you can use just a ruler, but I'm going to go ahead and put a mark. You'll be happiest if you put your mark on the back side at the 3-inch point. So I'm going to mark right here on the back of my 3-inch, and then on the side here, so I'm going to do 1.5 inches from this way, which is actually right in the center of the paper. How convenient that I made it 3 inches wide. Okay, so we have our 2 marks, and the next thing I'm going to do is connect them. You can use scissors, you can use your trimmer. And where'd my marks go? Right here. So I'm going to put my marks in the center there and here. So I'm basically cutting off a triangle, okay? So I'm going to slide that down, hold it in place. Oh, I gotta get my scoring blade out of the way. I'm going to put that down, hold it in place, and then go ahead and trim off with my paper trimmer. Okay, so now I have 2 pieces like that, all right? So the next thing you're going to do, now if you're doing this at home, you don't have to do it exactly in the same dimensions. You can do anywhere that makes you happy. But if you're a person who likes measurements, then I'm happy to give them to you. All right, so I'm going to now start scoring. The first thing I'm going to do is on the front, I'm going to score 3 inches from the bottom, which coincides to the end of that triangle part right there. Then I'm going to score again at 4 inches. Okay, then I'm going to score at 5 3/4 inches. I'm doing this in the middle of the air. Oops. 5 3/4, and then 6.5 inches, which basically gets us pretty close to the edge. All right, so now, like I said, you don't have to use these exact measurements. You can kind of make it up as you go along, but this will get you started. So I'm going to go ahead. First thing to do is fold it back on my first score line. I'm going to fold again to make sort of a Z fold. Then next score line I'm going to fold again, and the next score line I'm going to fold again there. And ta-da! Now we have that cute little drapery fold. Okay, so this piece here is going to layer on the front of our card, and then we're going to trim off this last little bit here. But I'm going to put adhesive mostly on the bottom layer, and then mostly just at the top of the drapery fold part. I'm going to butt this up against the bottom corner and layer this across, and then I'm going to use my scissors to just trim off that extra 1/4 inch. All right, and that gets rid of our mark too, which would have been on the back side anyway. All right, so see how easy that is? The drapery fold, super slick. Next thing I'm going to do is take my piece of shimmer glimmer silver paper and my Emerald Envy, and I'm going to use Fast Fuse because this is going to keep trying to pop up. See how that drapery fold is on there? I don't really want it to pop up, so I'm going to encourage it to stay put by using Fast Fuse, which is a really rockin' adhesive. And stick that down. And then same thing, I'm just going to go ahead and, since I got Fast Fuse in my hand, I'm going to use it again for the next piece. All right, so that gives us our basic drapery, which is kind of a fun pattern to use. You can decorate this any way that you want to, but what we're going to do is go ahead and use this piece of cardstock here to add our focal point. So I'm going to use my Dapper Denim and this frame here. Now I'm actually not going to use the feet on the image, so I'm not going to worry too much about getting them stamped super well. So there is our frame, and then I'm going to go ahead and take this and cut it out. But you know what, before that I think I'm going to do my stamping in the middle. So let me show you a trick. Sometimes you want to stamp some images in here that are bigger, but you don't want them to overlap your frame. So what I did was I took my piece of Post-it note, pretend this doesn't have a square cut out, I stamped on here, I took scissors, I chopped, I cut the inside, there, can you see the edge? I cut the inside of the frame out. So then I'm going to layer the piece that's left over here on our stamped square, and now I have the center to be able to stamp for. So I'm going to use my Dapper Denim, and again I'm using my Stamping Off cardstock here, my Stamping Off scratch paper, because I don't want these images to be too dark. I'm going to stamp off, and we'll do kind of like a little bit of a circle-y kind of thing here. Alright, and then I'm going to clean this off and switch over to Emerald Envy and add some more. I love Emerald Envy. Seriously, my favorite color. I might have mentioned once or twice. Alright, I'm sure you're going to love it too. Okay, so now we have the center of our square all nicely decorated without the images going over the edges. So take your scissors now and just trim this out with just a little bit of a white line around the edge. And then no one needs to ever know that this is actually part of a big painter's palette kind of easel stamp. So it really extends the stamp set, so it gives you a lot more flexibility. See the cute frame? And a lot more flexibility to a stamp set. So this is going to layer on here, but we need some words to go with it. And on my sample card, I actually have the words "A Little Birthday Love." Where are they? Here we go. A Little Birthday Love. But you'll notice that there are actually no stamps that say "A Little Birthday Love" in this whole set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use your idea to have a birthday is genius and ink it up so that I have the word birthday. Okay, and then I'm going to use this little expression of love and stamp this so that now I have a little love. So a little birthday love. Clever, right? I didn't get this. I think this idea is actually from the catalog. So yet another reason that you're going to want your own copy of the new catalog, which you can get as part of Stamps in the Mail Club. I'll send that with your kit if you make sure you request one so I know you need one. I almost cut off the A there. Alright. So this new catalog debuted at the beginning of June of this year, 2016. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, you're definitely going to want to. And for birthday, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that, but I'm going to keep that line underneath because it would be difficult to get that one off, and it's kind of cool. So I'm going to give it a little banner ends. There's one, there's two, and then of course you got to find the right pieces here and cut little tiny slivers, or big pieces as in this case, of your Stampin' Dimensionals. These pieces are going to go here on your punched vellum circle. This one had two. Woohoo, bonus for that. And like I said, you might need to use little tiny slivers. So now we have a little birthday love. Now let me give you a tip about working with vellum. If you put adhesive on the back of the vellum, it will show through to the front. So you want to put your adhesive only on the parts that are going to be covered up by your images on the front. So you can see, well, maybe you can't see. I just put Fast Views across there right behind my banner pieces so that it's not going to show. Oh, you know what? I wasn't going to use Fast Views anyway. I was going to put a dimensional on it. Okay, there we go. So now I have my dimensional on there, which would clearly show through, but since it's hidden by our greeting, then that works perfectly. And then I'm going to take this and why not use more dimensionals? Go ahead and stick our frame down on our card so that we have our finished A Little Birthday Love. And you can do this design with all kinds of designer series paper. Here's another example from Stamps and Mail Club kit. All kinds of fun ideas. Make sure you request your kit so that you can make your own card soon. And I hope you have fun with this Drapery Pleat fold. If you leave me a comment, let me know if you're excited to go ahead and try this technique. Happy stamping. I look forward to stamping with you by mail.